everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Amanda Ryan Smith. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the Chief Development Officer at the Trevor Project. Our mission at Trevor is to end suicide among lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning young people. We provide 24/7 crisis services via phone, text, and chat in the US and Mexico. And we also have research, advocacy, education, and a peer support network called Trevor Space. We're going to start off today with seeing a short video.
I went to a very conservative seminary, and I was taught that God created the male and female, that there was no other genders, that when someone is born either male or female, that's God's original intent, and that God doesn't make mistakes.
My statement was like, how in the world could you know that you wanted to be a man at 3 and 4 years old?
We're just very conservative, and we didn't understand that it was not a phase.
I always knew.
I never wanted to be in dresses or skirts or heels, even putting on nail polish. I never wanted that.
I knew from a very young age that I was male, but also knew from a very young age that I would be destined to lose my family. And unfortunately, that is what happened.
I did not understand what this meant. A man is a man and a woman is a woman. How am I going to get grandchildren? You know, that was my expectation.
It was hard, especially when you just want to be a kid. You just want to live, and be happy.
All my encounters with LGBTQ people were people who were trying to change. People who wanted me to help them change even. I had never met people who were harmed by the church.
Seemingly the world split open, and we were the root cause of that because our daughter is trans.
We have not been together for at least 6 years, and it may be longer than that. And it's been a waste. It's been a waste, as far as I'm concerned. It's just been a waste.
I began to see just so clearly that the church has done wrong. It dawned on me, I was the one that was committing sin. I was the one that was committing harm.
What you just watched is the trailer for Learn with Love, which is a film available on YouTube that features 3 transgender young people and the adults in their life who love them. I'm so honored to be sitting here today with 2 exceptional individuals who are featured in this short film, Caden and Kristen Slaughter. Today we're going to talk about transgender and non-binary young people. So I want to start with some definitions to make sure everyone understands what we're talking about. For transgender, it's people whose gender identity differs from the sex they were assigned at birth. So an example is someone who may have been assigned female at birth, even though their authentic gender identity is male. Non-binary is an umbrella term that describes people who experience their gender identity and/or expression outside the boundaries of the binary of men and women. They may use many different terms, and our research tells us that our young people do use many different terms to describe themselves as non-binary, but it could be things like gender fluid, gender queer, or many others. So Caden and Kristen, thank you so much for being here today. I'd love for you all to introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about your experience of being part of the Learn with Love production. Caden, can we start with you?
Yes, of course. My name is Caden Slaughter. My pronouns are he, him, and I am a Christian. I am a Black trans man, and I also have an advocacy for LGBTQ rights and also human rights as well. My experience with Learn with Love was an amazing, amazing experience. Being able to see other people who are like me, who think like me, who see me as a human being, past my gender, past my sexuality, but just a soul in a human body, trying to live and be happy. And it really gave me a lot of courage and hope being with the Trevor Project. It was just an awesome, awesome experience. So grateful to be here.
Thank you, Caden. Kristen, I would love for you to introduce yourself to everyone and talk a little bit about your experience.
Sure. My name is Kristen Slaughter. I am a K-12 educator, school counselor based out of Nashville, Tennessee. I was also at one point Caden's school counselor. My experience with Learn with Love, it really helped Caden show who he is. I've never seen him blossom more from his participation in this video, in this program, and it was just a joy and a pleasure to see him become more of who he needed to be by participating in Learn with Love. So that was just mind-blowing, that was awesome, and I still feel the joy to this day from watching Caden be the person he is.
Thank you so much, Kristen. LGBTQ young people are more than 4 times as likely to attempt suicide as their peers. For transgender and non-binary young people, they face an even higher risk. And I want to be very clear, there's nothing inherent in their identities that makes that so. It's that they often live in an unsupportive environment, that they face unique stressors, challenges, and discrimination. At Trevor, we want LGBTQ young people to see a bright future for themselves. So Caden, in the film you talk about your own mental health journey, and can you share some of the supports that you found that helped you walk through that journey to the other side and brought you where you are today?
Yes, of course. For me, in my journey, family was number one. Family on my mother's side. For example, my aunts, when I first came out as trans to my mother, we were both new to this new journey. We both didn't know where to start, where to go, who to talk to. And my aunt, she just said, love. And love has been the key thing bringing us together. It's actually brought our relationship closer over the years. My aunt's kids, they just treat me as their cousin. They look past my gender, and they just want me to be happy with them. My little cousin Nori, he always tells me he looks up to me, and I give him strength and courage, and he wants to be like me. And I was just amazed that he said that, because he's only 10 years old, you know, and it just brought me so much hope for my future, being able to bring the youth hope, and not just LGBTQ plus youth, but all youth all around. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Caden. Kristen, I'd love to hear more about your experience too. I myself am the parent of a non-binary child who is 11 years old. Their name is B, and their pronouns are they and she. B came out to us 2 years ago at the age of 9. And you'd think in my line of work and being a queer person myself, it would be easy, and it was not. I was surprised. I had a lot of questions. I had a lot of concerns. And what my partner and I decided was that we would just put our questions to the side, and we would let B take the lead on telling us who they are, and that we would make sure that B has the support they need. So many adults have never met an openly trans or non-binary person that they know of, and they don't understand what they don't know. And so we've seen so much the dangerous hostility that the opposition has been attacking trans and non-binary young people in the US, to the point where it's become a national emergency. As the parent of a non-binary young person, I can really say young people know themselves. And we need to listen to them and to trust them. Kristen, I'd love for you to talk about your experience of being Caden's mom, your journey of accepting him, and what do you want other parents of trans and non-binary children to know?
Sure. I can't lie. Initially, I was a little shocked when Caden told me that he wanted to, or she wanted to be trans. We'll start with she. At first, I was like, okay, what is trans? What does that mean? Because growing up in the 80s, that's just not anything that was discussed. I mean, you knew that there was lesbian, you knew there was gay. That wasn't an issue, and sometimes people wouldn't even come out as such. And I knew Caden had those feelings because I hear about that information during school. Caden's trying to talk to this girl, or Caden has been talking about this person is cute, this girl is cute. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. I have no issue with that. But when Caden actually came to me and said, okay, Mom, I think I want to transition over to being a man, I said, okay, what does that mean? How did you do that? I had no clue. It was so deep that I didn't know how serious it was until Caden attempted to take his life. And at that point, I realized how serious a situation this had to be. So at that point, I just had to learn what this was about. How do I support Caden? And as Caden said, that's when we leaned on some family. We leaned on my sister, who was a physician, and lo and behold, she knew about this. She was very familiar. And I said, sis, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, what is going on? And she said, just support. Just do what you have to do. I said, okay, what does that mean? And she referred me to a community agency that had a broad range of different support systems, from different hormones to counselors, to everything that helped bridge the gap and helped me understand Caden. And Caden understood why I was asking the questions I needed to ask. And even to this day, I still have questions that we still have, we have kind of laughs about and whatnot. So even through this journey, it's been an awesome one. It's been a loving one. And I'm so appreciative of what has happened since that time. So,
thank you, Kristen. We talk a lot about yes, you deserve applause, absolutely. We talk a lot about the protective factors and the risk factors for suicide. And one of the protective factors is joy. And I think it's so critically important for all of us and for LGBTQ young people to find their sources of joy and strength that can improve their mental health. My own B loves to dance and loves to turn on their music and just find that joy in movement. So, Caden, what's bringing you joy today?
My number one joy is my faith in Christ. Struggling with PTSD, sexual, verbal, and physical abuse, trauma from my father's side and family members on his side, the affirmations from Christ, knowing that he is here with me, that I am deserving of love, affection, protection, knowing that he is here covering me, that is my number one source of joy. I also love to go on hikes, even though I hate bugs. I have a huge phobia of bugs, but just seeing nature and seeing how God has grown this beautiful planet and is still growing, it brings me so much peace and so much joy just to be in that moment. And that's my main source, joy.
Thank you, Caden. Kristen, what's bringing you joy in this journey?
I would say the number one joy is Caden is still here. And I could have lost Caden. I'm not going to go into tears right now, but Caden could have not been here on this earth right now. And I'm so blessed and thankful that he's sitting right next to me today. When we first visited the Trevor Project team last year in LA, Caden celebrated his 21st birthday, and that was amazing. I felt a sense of definite joy because he just crossed over that line from, teenager to adulthood, so that's definitely a joy. him finding himself officially and coming to his own truth about who he wants to be, that has been a joy. Deciding that he wants to go to college and break that barrier and major in computer science, that has brought me joy. And, you know, finding his faith of what he wants to do with God and believing in that and letting him guide that path. So I'm so happy, so happy.
Thank you both for your openness, your vulnerability, your willingness to share your experiences and your lives with us. It's such an inspiration for me and for all of us, and I know gives hope to other trans and non-binary people who might be struggling. It's so important to hear lived experiences, but I also think it's important that the burden and work shouldn't always be on the folks who hold marginalized identities. Bea would tell you if they were here that the way that you can be an ally to non-binary people is to not assume pronouns, but to ask what people's pronouns are. And that's what we really want for all of you, is to be allies to LGBTQ young people. And I think a lot of times it can prevent people from moving forward because they're worried about doing something wrong and they want to be a perfect ally. And we think that you don't have to be perfect to be with us. You have to try. You have to be curious and open and ask questions and educate yourself. We can all be part of this movement. On the Trevor Project's website, we have a guide to being an ally to transgender and non-binary young people that is a great resource to learn from and to share with others in your life that you want to learn more. I share it with all the important adults in Bea's life. The start of every school year involves passing it all around. I want to close with a stat that is easy to remember. Our research at the Trevor Project has found that at least one accepting adult in an LGBTQ young person's life can reduce their risk of attempting suicide by 40%. Think about that. Just one person. And you can be that person. We all can. Your support and affirmation can have a huge positive impact on an LGBTQ young person's life. In fact, it could save their life. Thank you so much. I think it's time for us to shift to questions.
Thank you for your discussion. Now, as she said, we will pass on to the discussion part of the session. I will ask the first question, and then we will hand it off to the audience. My question is for Caden. We all know love has no borders. So how has familial love in specific helped you throughout your upbringing?
Oh man, that's a good question. Knowing that people see me, like I said, not just through my gender or through my sexuality. I'm so much more than that, you know. I have more than just transgender or gay or bi, whatever. I love computers. I love dogs. I love cats and all that. And just knowing that my family is here to support me, even though the world may hate me and dehumanize me, but knowing I still have my family in Christ, I mean, it brings me so much strength. It really does. And that is my foundation for, you know, the evil in this world, you know? And that's what brings me joy. Yeah.
Hi there. Firstly, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's wonderful to hear. We've heard a lot over the last couple of days about youth voice and co-creation and youth empowerment, yet it feels like there are such barriers that in some ways are getting worse when it comes to empowering young trans people and non-binary people with a voice within that to be heard. When they speak out in schools and education, it feels like we're trying to stifle that rather than empower that. And I'd like to ask what you feel we can do and how you feel we can start to overcome that. Thank you.
Say, Mom, I'll let you go first. You know you work in the school system.
Definitely. Well, I feel that parents can definitely support their school system. I would say a lot of times, as a counselor, it takes a lot to get parents to come in and even, come to plays or come to parent-teacher night. If you know that your child is having an issue at school, you definitely need to come and support. I think we need to have that more community support within the school system. I think being more open, like you said before, to what's going on with our children today. As you stated, that there hasn't been, a lot of support. It seems like it's going down or whatnot. We have to be real in this world. LGBTQ is here to stay. This is not like back in the day where it was kind of thrown back under the rug and people were not listening to everyone else. It's here, and we have to go ahead and understand that it's going to continue. The population of these people, I want to say these people, but this community is going to grow. So let's go ahead and understand that and realize that, we have to have more programs, we have to have more, maybe even PTO support, parent-teacher organizations, and just not be scared of what's going on. It's nothing to be scary about. This is a new day and age, and, this is going to continue. But we can be joyful about it, and, and love, support, accept.
We, at the Trevor Project, we do research where we really want to understand LGBTQ young people, and have seen so much about how the impact of the political debates can have such a negative impact on mental health. But I will also say that seeing my child, who just finished the 5th grade, be out and proud in their elementary school and have other out and proud LGBTQ children in that elementary school is powerful. And I think that we have to work to make the environment safe enough for trans and non-binary young people to be able to speak up, and that really it's not on them, it's on us for how we create that safety and how we, I frankly work to demand that safety for my own kid, and I want all of you to demand that safety all in the world we're in.
All right, I think that's all the time we have. Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you.